Mike. Make sure we're good. All right. Yeah. All right. What's going on, guys? HML, what's up? Todd from Mississippi. What's up, man? How's it going? How is it going? Todd, do you travel or are you just always... I feel like you're always somewhere different. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I appreciate it, though. We'll kind of let everybody file in here. Lindsay, yeah, the whiteboard. Tuesday, obviously today, Tuesday, January the 26th, talking Gamecock's first baseman. So it just felt appropriate. I don't know. It felt appropriate. Rodney, what's up, man? Brian Bennett, yeah. Shane Beamer continuing to make moves. Obviously the hire this morning, or I guess it's rumored right now. It's not technically official, but sounding like Shane Beamer has brought on Taylor Edwards to be director of recruiting operations. Was it Maryland, Arkansas, and Alabama? Did pretty good work at Maryland and Arkansas. So, yeah, I mean, pretty solid hire from everything we know. So, all right, taking you guys questions, comments here. Let me actually, you know what? My bad. I forgot to. It's funny. We go back and forth from doing the NCAA simulations and this. I cut that banner off whenever I do the NCAA stuff, so I apologize. There's the number, 843-790-3377. Phil, what's going on? Dusty Rhodes, what's up? Like I said, we got a lot to get into, taking you guys questions, comments. Today's podcast was 100% baseball focused, which obviously makes me very excited, makes me happy. Episode 367 broke down the Gamecock's first baseman going into the 2021 baseball season, just talking about Wes Clark, David Mendham, Joe Satterfield, all those guys who should have big impacts this season for Carolina, and some real bashers in that Gamecocks lineup. Again, that's why you see the whiteboard. It just felt appropriate. Chicks dig the long ball. So we're going to see a lot of that from that group of dudes this season. So, again, guys, taking your questions, comments, everything else. We could start to talk about Gamecocks basketball tomorrow as well, South Carolina, Georgia, at Colonial Life Arena, which has got me kind of wondering. I wonder how much tickets are for the game tomorrow. Lee Harrell, no new news in recruiting that I have to share. I mean, no, nothing new. Nothing new as of right now. So I will say this. I hope you guys do like baseball, because once baseball season gets going, we're going to be talking about all the games that are going on all during the week. So it's going to be a lot of baseball very, very, very soon. So, but yeah. Got a big basketball game tomorrow night too. Good Lord. That's a game you need to win. So I'm just trying to see if there's any tickets available. I know there are some available. I just wonder how much they cost. 7:00 tip at the CLA. $15. I mean, it's not that you can't afford them. Or that I can't afford them. It's just the principle of, man, I don't know. Anyways. Brian Bennett, is their fans protocol and limited spectators for baseball? Yeah, 2,100 patrons. Thinking sometime in the next couple of days, we'll get the full schedule for South Carolina. You know, we've got the SEC schedule, obviously. I'm thinking, like I said, the next couple of days, we'll get the full schedule. So once that happens, I mean, I'm gonna be looking to buy season tickets from somebody. So I'm planning on being one of the 2,100 in the building. So bottom line. Let's see. Eric Fryer, inside the locker room, players are more excited about their first workouts with Beamer's staff than they were excited about anything under Muschamp. Yeah, again, I think you're seeing the positive impact on the culture, at least early. Again, if nothing else, it's a breath of fresh air. If nothing else, is a breath of fresh air. Seeing Beamer share, former players visiting, and it seems crazy that guys like Alshon and Pat DeMarco, and I think maybe Melvin Ingram, even this is their first time seeing the facility, and it just kind of goes to show you, what was going on. I don't know, but no, it's great to see. If nothing else, like I said, it's a breath of fresh air. Everybody seems like there's a new energy, a new excitement, if you will, which is what you desperately needed, which is what your program desperately needed. So, let's see. Ronnie Ferguson, how's our closers look? Yeah, so I think Danny Lloyd is most likely going to be your closer. Maybe it could be Brett Carey, but the bullpen as a whole, I'm excited about. I mean, you have a plethora of power arms this year, an absolute plethora of power arms. So, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for this entire Gamecocks pitching staff. I feel really, really good about it. I gave the first baseman an A grade, by the way, for the thing that came out today. And I gave the bullpen a B+. And the only reason I gave him a B+ and not an A, honestly, is because the one thing you could say about him is there is a lack of SEC experience, like true SEC experience. There's a lot of guys that are green in that area. And really, you could say that about the entire pitching staff. I mean, listen, your top two guys on Friday and Saturday in Farr and Jordan have never pitched an SEC game. But, I mean, that doesn't take away the fact they're really good players. I mean, it's just, it's a little different. It's interesting. It's a little different in baseball because you can see stuff, especially when you're looking at the pitching side. You can see stuff. You know what I mean? It's not hard to see if a guy has stuff. I mean, really, it's not. How does a guy mentally handle the grind of the SEC season? How does he handle the lights? For example, Thomas Farr, his first Friday night start. How does he handle that? I mean, honestly, that is a different type of pressure, if you will, and a different type of responsibility being the Friday night guy. I mean, like I always reference this conversation, but heck, we had Adam Hill on the show. I remember specifically Adam Hill talking about going from Sunday to Friday and the differences. And obviously he adjusted well, but there is an adjustment. You know what I mean? So, but I feel good about the Gamecocks pitching staff, the bullpen especially. You have as many power arms as you've had in quite a while. We'll put it that way, in quite a while. So, Ronnie Krill, I missed the last Road to Glory session. What's the record now? We lost 3 in a row last night, so we are now 2-5. It was a rough night last night. Rough night. So, I don't know. RJ Kelly, the new recruiting director. I don't know much about the guy. I know he's been at Maryland, Arkansas, and Alabama. He seemed to have done good work. Seemed to have helped to put together some pretty damn good classes at Maryland and Arkansas, which is an achievement. You know what I mean? That's doing pretty well. So, if he can help reel in a top 20 class for a place like Maryland, you'd certainly think he could do some good work at Carolina. But yeah, I mean, I'd say it's a good hire overall. I'd say it's a good hire for sure. So let's see. Cody Gaskin, seems like Muschamp never brought former players in. Do you think now that Beamer is the HBC, do you think any of Muschamp recruits come back to visit? I'm not going to say Muschamp never brought him in, never brought former guys in, but it is just kind of weird to see some of your legends that played at Carolina that have never seen the facility. It's hard to believe. I don't know. I don't know what the disconnect was. I don't know. AJ Bowers, any teams that you think we can sweep a series with? Well, we got to see the non-conference schedule, but in conference, Mizzou's a possibility. Well, those are only the home ones. Okay. I'd have to look at the schedule. I mean, Kentucky's a possibility. So, and you just never know, man, going from week to week to week to week. You know what I mean? So, Hope says, just announced Alonzo Frank will miss the remainder of the season due to medical reasons. Great. Just another shot in the arm for Gamecock basketball. It's just fantastic. So it wasn't COVID. Hey, at least there's that. It wasn't COVID. And here's my question now. I don't know. Does it give Martin more or less of an excuse that it wasn't COVID? Because it's like, bro, injuries are going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have injuries. Injuries are going to hit a team. So, I mean, it sucks, but we'll see. I just, people continue to say, oh, you don't have McCreary, you don't have Frank. Well, you don't have two players. You have a whole rest of your team. So, I don't know. Just putting this graphic together. Got to put a graphic together for it, folks. Got to put a graphic together. That's a shame, though. It's a real shame because he was going to help us. No, he didn't opt out. Apparently, he's hurt. So, RJ Kelly, what was the book y'all were talking about yesterday? I was going to look it up, but I couldn't remember the name. The Four Agreements. Or no, my brain's not working today. The Four Agreements. Don Miguel Ruiz. The Four Agreements. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm like thinking about 100 things at once. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Chandler Bryant, my buddy, actually met Brad Lawing, and he gave him a picture of Ingram Clowney that they sent to him. Dude, Brad Lawing's a legend. Definitely going to get Coach Lawing back on the show. Definitely going to get Coach Lawing back on the show. Man is just an absolute legend. He has stories on stories on stories on stories, man. Never-ending stories. You just love to see it. All right. Got it. All right, let's see. Greg Rabel, how do you think Coach Kingston works both Clark and Satterfield into the lineup? One guy will be DH, one guy will be first base. Pretty simple. Here's the thing. In college baseball, they're going to play the 9 best hitters. I mean, that's really how it works. If you can hit, you can play. They will find a spot for you. So I'm going to tell you right now, Clark's going to be in the lineup. Clark is one of the best 9 hitters. We know that for a fact. If Satterfield, though, is one of the best 9, he'll be in that lineup. I promise you. Because, again, we all know baseball's offensive now. I mean, you got to have pitching. Yes, pitching wins championships. I agree 110%. But you got to have bats. You got to have bats up and down your lineup. And, again, if Satterfield, they'll utilize the DH. I fully expect them to utilize the DH. I wouldn't be surprised right now if Wes Clark is in that DH role. That seems to be what people are projecting. But, we'll see. Satterfield's also a switch hitter, by the way. So, you could use him in different scenarios. Mendham's a lefty. Obviously, Wes Clark's a big righty. So, I mean, it just depends on the matchups. But those guys will all see the lineup. There's no doubt. No doubt. Jackson Gary, appreciate the love, man. It's always fun talking baseball. So, if you're a baseball fan, you probably loved the podcast today. Adam Ritter says, I think we may struggle hitting it home runs or nothing team. I mean, listen, Carolina baseball has always been centered around power. And this team to me is no different. However, I think you have quality sticks in the lineup that aren't huge strikeout guys. Like even Wes Clark isn't a huge strikeout guy. Brady Allen's a really tough out. Jeff Heinrich's a really tough out. Braylon Wimmer showed some good things last year, really tough out. You need like a George, I say you need a George Khalil to step up, but he was swinging it well when they called the season last year. Sorry, guys. I got a frog in my throat. He was swinging it well when they called the season. These new guys, you need Mendham and Satterfield to, Brandon Fields, he's a guy that could have some swing and miss in his game, but I mean, a true freshman, but a really talented guy. So, listen, when you have a point when you're going up against these big-time SEC arms, these guys are throwing 96, 97, 98 miles an hour. You better shorten up and just make contact. You better shorten up. But no, I listen. The Gamecocks know that. You know what I mean? It's not like this team doesn't know that. So it's not like this team doesn't know that. So you got to have a balance. But the fact that you're going to have a team, I think that at any point in the game can hit a long ball and tie it up or take a lead or whatever, change the momentum. I think that's a big advantage. So, and again, that is the culture of Carolina baseball, guys. I mean, it's Carolina baseball is power. Carolina baseball is hitting home runs. Bottom line, it is. So, but as the 10, 11, and 12 team showed you, having a team that is great situationally and can make things happen, can hit and run, can bunt, can play small ball. I mean, that's, that obviously plays a huge role. You're going to get in those situations in the game of baseball where you need to drop a bunt down. You just are, bottom line. You're going to get to the point in a baseball game where you need to move a guy over from second to third. You know what I mean? Can you go backside if you're a righty or pull side if you're a lefty and get him to third base? So it's about making productive outs and situations, coming through in situations. But having power is not a negative for this Gamecocks team. It's only a plus. Only a plus. Lance Player, appreciate you tuning in, man. Appreciate the love. Thanks so much. USC Gamecock fans is hoping for the best in baseball, but I fear we will be mediocre again and people will be calling to fire Kingston. I don't know. I don't see it. I think we're going to have a good team. I think this is a really talented team. So, Brad Vail, do you have a projected starting lineup? I do not right now. I mean, I could roughly go down it, but I will give my official projected starting lineup the week of opening day. That's when I'll do my full preview show, break down the season, give my predictions, everything. And that will be the week of February the 19th, which is opening day. So that Monday will be the 15th probably? The 15th. So I will give all that, or I will do that. That will drop that week. So until that point, we're going to continue to do the position unit previews. I think Thursday I'll do second base. Next week we'll do shortstop and third. The next week we'll do catcher and outfield, I guess. Yeah, that would be it. Catcher and outfield, and then we'll be in a game week, which, I mean, obviously I can't wait for. I mean, it's, it was kind of cruel and unusual punishment last year. My first full year living in Columbia, I completely lost base. I mean, we all did. It wasn't just me. But we all lost baseball season. It'll be really sweet to get it back. So it'll be really sweet to get it back. Phil Harris says, why does the National League cling to no DH? So boring. Yeah, I mean, I grew up a Braves fan. So it's like, I guess it's different. Like, I don't mind the DH, but I definitely understand, like, in today's game, like, it just makes more sense to add another big bat and add excitement and add offense. I mean, it just does. But, I know there's some baseball purists and traditionalists that say, oh, no, you got to have the pitcher hit. It's a 9v9 game. Doesn't make sense to have an extra player. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the pitcher is an automatic out. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? But I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it, if they hold on to it or not. Because I think last year was a huge success with the DH, with the universal DH, I mean. So, Sholin, hate the DH rule in the pros. It takes the strategy out of the game. I think the people that like the pitcher hitting are people, again, that are really true. And again, this is no slight to Phil, but are just really, truly pure baseball fans. Like, they love the strategy of the game. They love to see pitching matchups. I mean, I'm the same way. I love, the fact that a pitcher has to bunt. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of the game. And you definitely lose a part of the game when you don't have the pitcher hitting. You just do. You lose a part of the game. But again, if they take out the DH, I'm not going to be upset about it. I mean, listen, again, it's more offense, and they're trying to get better ratings, and that's what more offense will give you. So, Chad Godwin held 10 teams from the SEC in the top 25. Yeah, it's crazy. SEC stacked. I mean, the SEC in baseball, we talk about how good the SEC is in football, and I mean, it is. Don't get me wrong, but man, in baseball, it is a whole different level. I mean, it is a whole different level. So, I really do hate that for Alonzo Frank, man. Phil says, so glad I support an AL team so I don't have to watch the pitchers try to hit. Shullen and Phil having a little debate back and forth on the on the pitchers hitting side of things. Tyler Knoll, that's where Tanner English was so good. He could play small ball so well, was really good in center field. Got to have someone like that, a lot of good sticks, but not sure how much small ball they play. I mean, Noah Myers gives you that. Jeff Heinrich gives you that. Yeah, I mean, listen, South Carolina's lineup is not going to be predominantly speed or small ball. It's just not. It's just not. So, but you got bashers, man. You got, I mean, which guys were the small ball guys in the days of Smoke and Havens and Darnell and Disher? I mean, what were the small ball guys there? You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. There's more than one way to do it. There's definitely more than one way to do it. But I will say, to Ritter's point earlier, living and dying by the home run is, hey, look, it's bit South Carolina baseball in the past. I mean, shoot, we've seen it. We've seen it firsthand. So, Shullen, Babe Ruth was not an automatic out, but Babe Ruth was not just any pitcher. Babe Ruth's one of the greatest baseball players who ever lived. So, most pitchers are an automatic out. Hey, remember Dontrell Willis? Dude hit bombs when he played. So, USC Gamecock fans says basketball might not win another game this year. No bigs, no point guard. I think they'll win another. Look, I mean, I'll tell you this, if they lose both the games this week, it is really time to hit the panic button. I mean, really time. So, I mean, Georgia's not a world beater, but man, Vandy's terrible. They're last in the league. So, Dusty Rhodes says, I wonder what Brandon McElwain is up to these days. No idea. Not a clue. USC Gamecock fan, I wish Kingston would get us back to those glory days. I mean, I think he can, man. I think he can. This is going to be the best roster South Carolina's had in a couple of years. Definitely the best roster under Mark Kingston. Let's let it play out. Let's see what happens. So I feel really good about this team. I really do. I feel really, really good about this team. I mean, dude, and I don't want to compare these two guys, by the way. I hate to compare them because it's unfair to compare anybody to the legend that is Ray Tanner. But South Carolina guys did not make, and I know they were still good before that, though, because they won. He got there in 97. They won the SEC East in 1999 and 2000. But, I mean, heck, the Gamecocks didn't make Omaha, which is what a lot of fans, it's just they don't even care about anything else. It's Omaha or bust. They didn't make Omaha till 02. So, I mean, listen, Mark Kingston has had a super regional, a really bad year, and a COVID-shortened year. I mean, let's see how this season plays out before we draw conclusions of it'll never happen. You know what I mean? Like, I think good things are happening with Carolina baseball. I like Mark Kingston. I do. I think Kingston's a baseball man. I think he's got a good balance between analytically and having a feel for the game. I like everything about Kingston. So, Jay Rowland says, I got Georgia by at least 10. Don't know much about Vandy. Well, Vandy hadn't won a game in conference play. And, man, if Georgia wins by double digits, it's going to be very ugly on social media. Courtney Washington, Kingston will never get us to Ray Tanner level. Excuse me. Ray is a special coach. Is there a single coach out there that will? I think fans really need to take a step back and appreciate how special what Ray Tanner did at Carolina baseball was. And that's why I say, again, I don't give a damn what you think about him as an AD. What he did as a baseball coach, he should have a statue of himself outside of Founders Park. No question. No question. So, I mean, South Carolina baseball, I mean, listen to his coaching record, by the way. I know he was an assistant, or he coached NC State for, 7-8 years from 88 to 96. But he was at South Carolina for 15 years, guys. This is his overall head coaching record. Okay? This was his overall coaching record. 1,133 wins, 489 losses, and 3 ties. He has a 70% winning percentage as a head coach. That is absurd. That is absurd, guys. Just flat out absurd. So, I mean, it's absurd. I don't know how many more times I can say that. So, to think that South Carolina is going to hire a head coach, it's going to have that Ray Tanner level of success. I hope they do, and I think that should be the expectation. But we got to be I think you got to be a little realistic. I don't know. We'll see. I don't see any reason why Carolina baseball can't be that. But I'm just saying that, just be careful with the whole comparisons to Tanner, man, because what Tanner did was unprecedented. I mean, honestly, absolutely unprecedented. John gives best pitcher versus best hitter. Pitcher wins every time, in my opinion. I mean, that seems to be the tail of the tape. Just depends on the guys and who makes a mistake and who doesn't. You know what I mean? So, USC Gamecock fan A.D. McGee was the GOAT, hired Tanner, Holtz, and Spurrier. Yeah, dude, we did a thing last year, I think during the pandemic, and said who's the greatest Gamecock of all time. And I think I said Michael Roth first, but then, yeah, A.D. McGee. I mean, look at the like you said, the coaches and the success of the athletic department. I mean, speaks for itself, right? So, for sure. Guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377, January the 26th, 2021 here on Tuesday. Great podcast drop this morning if you're a baseball fan for sure, but a Gamecock fan in general, but definitely if you're a baseball fan. Breaking down the Gamecocks' first baseman heading into the 2021 baseball season. Very excited. We're just 24 days away from opening day, and you guys know that I am fired up. So, got a great conversation happening today as well for Thursday. And again, since you guys are on here, I'll tell you, former Gamecock slugger Parker Bangs. Going to talk to Parker Bangs here right after this live stream, right after the Daily Crow. So very excited. Parker was obviously one of the big time bats at Carolina when he played, and excited to get his insight and his take on everything. So, yep. 24 days. 24 days till first pitch. 24 days. RJ Kelly, I still think we need to put up all the players we put in the league and the Natty teams banners or something at the park got to shine on. Yeah, again, I don't understand why we don't. We have a lot of tradition, a lot of great tradition to brag about in baseball. The one sport we have tradition, and we don't flex it. I don't get it. You know what I mean? That's why when I talk to people, and to me, it's like there's no debate that the gem of Carolina is their baseball team. I mean, there's none. I'm sorry. There's just no debate. None. Women's basketball is certainly making that push, no doubt. But, dude, I'd even say baseball far exceeds women. Just because the sheer length of the run of how good they were. I mean, literally from when Tanner got there in 97, you look all the way 98 to 2014. They didn't miss a postseason. I mean, That is such a ridiculously long, sustained record of success. You know what I mean? Dusty Rhodes, Matt Price was the GOAT. Indeed he was. Still is. Yeah, Hyman hired Horn. Yeah. Darren Horn, yep. John Gibbs, for some reason Kingston doesn't work out in the next few years. Do you think Monty Lee would come back if offered the head coach? Would you want him? I think he should have gotten it after Tanner. He went to Clem Sox out of spite, I think. Personally, would I want him as the head coach? I don't know. But I'd love to see Monty Lee back in Carolina in some capacity. I think he's a damn good baseball coach. You know, I don't know. I think he's a good baseball coach, and I think Clemson, to be honest with you, would be a little foolish to fire him. I think he's done a pretty decent job. So. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377, guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in here on a Tuesday. Again, Tuesday, January the 26th, 2021. Before we go any further, guys, I want to tell you my friends over at Flex Squad Fitness, my buddy CJ Profit over at Flex Squad Fitness, because the Daily Crow is brought to you by Flex Squad Fitness. CJ, like I said, owns it, runs it, been a certified personal trainer for 10 years. He struggled with his own weight for many years until he eventually lost 85 pounds himself, doing the same exact type of training he's doing at the gym. And guys, they do all types of training. One-on-one, a mix of strength, high-intensity interval training, endurance training. The goal is to not only help people look great on the outside, but more importantly, make them stronger and more confident on the inside. The biggest difference with Flex Squad Fitness and CJ is this: he's actually been there. He has lived through that struggle. You know what I mean? He has lived through that grind. And so he's going to do everything in his power to make sure you overcome that the same way that he did. And he's going to keep you accountable, by the way. You stop showing up, he's going to call, text, email, whatever he's got to do to get back in touch with you, because he cares about his people. And that is the difference when you go to Flex Squad Fitness. They do their best to make their place as fun as possible as well. You're going to work hard for sure, but you're going to laugh and sing along with their great music. Again, guys, so it's a place that changes people inside and out. You're not going to regret walking the door. You'll probably just wish you did it sooner. And guys, right now, the offers they're doing, they offer a free week for anyone who wants to try out their classes, or two free one-on-one sessions to see what they're all about, guys. Get this. Again, Flex Squad Fitness in Chapin, South Carolina. Get this. If you tell them that the Spurs Up Show sent you, you're going to get your first month free. They're just handing out free trials over here at Flex Squad Fitness. So again, my buddies, Flex Squad Fitness, CJ Profit in Chapin, South Carolina. Be sure to check them out. Tell them Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Again, it's a no-brainer. If you're in the local area, you need somewhere to work out, they're literally going to give you a free month if you just say the Spurs Up Show sent you, guys. It's bottom line. So, let's see. Phil says, I'm the president of the Ray Tanner Needs a Damn Statue Committee. Yeah, I agree. Dusty Rhodes. So the yard, I think you're talking about the Yardware as a sponsor. So there are some sponsors we have, man, that just want to go through football season. I mean, it really just depends. I mean, we did great work for them, and they sold a lot of units, and obviously I've still got mine right here. But there are some sponsors that, it just depends, man. There are some partners that they have certain timelines, and there's definitely going to be, again, without getting too much in the business side of it, there's going to be partners who just want to go through football season. That's totally fine. That's cool. Or just some people that their budgets change, or going into a new year, obviously things change. So yeah, nothing but love for Yardware, man. They were a great partner, and would definitely take them back on, by the way, if they wanted to come on. So yeah. Phil says Asia Wilson is the greatest Gamecock, by the way. Greatest Gamecock athlete. Now that's fair. That's fair. That's definitely fair. I would say it's either Asia or Michael Roth, personally. Yeah, but I definitely, dude, Asia accomplished as much as any athlete ever since George Rogers. So, yeah, no doubt. Asia deserves that honor. There's no question. But I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. This is where I put my value with Michael Roth. This is where I put my value with Roth. Is that I really feel like I really feel like baseball was a big part of the reason you saw the entire athletics department have the run from 2010 and beyond that we saw. I think baseball was a huge part because I think if you remember, if you go back and listen to conversations, Spurrier even talked about at the time just how the inspiration from the baseball team, watching them win a national title and do what they did, it made you feel like in the athletics department at South Carolina that, hey, it can be done here. That's what it made you feel like. And I don't know that South Carolina has the sustained level of success they had in football without baseball winning the national titles and raising the bar, I guess, for the rest of the sports. I don't know that basketball does either. And baseball doesn't win their titles without Michael Roth, just bottom line. So, bottom line. I think Michael Roth was probably single-handedly the most important player on those two teams. So, that's my argument for Roth. But yeah, I mean, dude, I think Asia Wilson definitely the best, most accomplished Gamecock athlete ever. Yeah. So. Yeah. No, listen, I'm just saying that Asia won every big time award. I'm saying like the only other person I would say who's won more big time individual awards is George Rogers. And I would say the Heisman is the greatest individual honor in all of sport. So, yeah, I mean, she's on the Mount Rushmore for sure. So I would probably say. Travis Ford, when does Dawn get one? Well, probably when she finishes up coaching. I mean, she's got a lot more winning to do. Yeah, John. Again, he makes the point. I know if I played a sport at USC, kept seeing another win, it would put a bigger fire under my butt to try to get our program to that level. Yeah, I mean, I think baseball did that in the 2010s and 11. I really do. I think that's infectious. You know what I mean? Winning's contagious. They say hitting's contagious. You know what I mean? In baseball, hitting's contagious. Once one guy starts doing it, the others follow. I think winning is contagious too, and I think that positivity and that optimism and that winning, that mindset, that mentality, that spread throughout the athletic department. I think when Carolina won those back-to-back titles. So, yeah, I think it was huge. Ryan Clark, George Rogers definitely has a statue outside of Willie B. Definitely has a statue. He definitely does, guys. Definitely 120%, 100 billion% he does. Literally right out there out front by the BBC, the big bronze cock. It's right there. It's right next to it. So, Justin says, once I seen we can make an NCAA tournament, I was shown it can be done, and we should expect it more. Yeah, I agree too. Again, that standard's got to be there. Got to be there. Phil says, when did George Rogers help Carolina win a national title? I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying he did win the highest individual award in sport, I would say. Is there another one? I mean, is there a more, at least in college sport, you can't win a bigger award than the Heisman. That is forever. That is truly legacy. And again, so Asia Wilson has the same. She has legacy. She has, yeah. I'm just saying, Robbie Davis, Texas, and I agree about Michael Roth. I went to quite a few Friday conference games in 2010. And I agree with that 100%. I'm really excited about baseball season. Just going off what I've heard, I really think this team this year could win it all. Hope you're doing well today. Go Cox. Clemson sucks. Appreciate it, Robbie. I'm doing well, man. Dude, I would love nothing more than to see Carolina baseball back in Omaha. I mean, honestly, I would love nothing more. That would be like the dream come true for me. So, Tyler Noel, if any other football players get a statue, it has to be the GOAT Connor Shaw. Yeah, I honestly, I agree with you. It's kind of surprising he doesn't have anything. So. Justin, wasn't Rodgers on the team that won an ACC title? And that was 69. That was 1969. Rodgers played like, what, 77 to 80? So, yeah. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls as well. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Yeah, in case you guys missed the news, Alonzo Frank out for the season due to medical reasons. I'm assuming that's not COVID. Yeah, I'm assuming that's not COVID. So, it's a shame. It sucks. I don't know. A tough blow for a Gamecocks baseball. Tough blow for a Gamecocks basketball team that's already struggling. That's what sucks. So, RJ Kelly, so who will lead the team in homers this year, in your opinion? I think it's Wes Clark. No doubt. Yep, I think it's Wes Clark, no doubt. Yep. Guy was leading the team and the conference when they called it last year. So, unless teams just decide to completely pitch around this guy, which, hey, if they do, pick your poison. Carolina's got other guys in their lineup. So, if they do, pick your poison, like I said. Justin said that's a good selling point. Come win an SEC title at Carolina, make history with how many SEC or ACC schools can say that they have a title in each conference. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That should always be one of the selling points at South Carolina is come do things that have never been done before. So, Tommy McClellan, Mount Rushmore for Carolina sports: George, Asia, Kip Balknight, and John Roche. The Mount Rushmore is that is a very debatable topic because it's like, I hear you, George, Asia, Balknight, and Roche, but like, you're telling me there's not a single South Carolina player football-wise from 10 to 13 that deserves the Mount Rushmore? I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Elizabeth Ballard, there's nothing like the sound of the bat hitting the ball. It's going to be a great baseball season. I'd agree. Tyler Knoll chimes in. Yes, they have the arms to compete every weekend in, and we have depth. This team's going to be very good. I agree with you. And again, I would just say, though, to caution Gamecock fans in the sense of, I love the expectations, but this is the SEC. So if you go 16-14 in the SEC, you had a good year. Like, don't get it twisted. You had a pretty damn good year. There's going to be some tough series along the way. You're going to lose some series along the way, guys. It's just going to happen. You know what I mean? So the biggest thing for this team is make the margin of error small. Don't go get swept at Vandy. Don't go get swept at Florida. You know what I mean? Make that margin of error. Make your misses small. You know what I mean? That really is the game of baseball. It's a game of misses. Make them small. Somebody texts in, Sterling Sharp should have won the Heisman. It's crazy Connor doesn't have something. I mean, I'd agree. Again, if you don't want Connor Shaw to have a statue, that's fine. But the fact that he has nothing is wild to me. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You can walk into Willie B, and I mean, really, is there anything in there that recognizes his greatness at Carolina? I mean, John Gibbs, again, if you have pitching, you have a chance. If you don't, it'll be a long season for anybody. Yeah, again, I agree. Yeah, and I think this team has as many power arms as they've had in quite a while. So. Some USC Gamecock fan, those 2010 to 12 teams were so loaded with MLB talent. It's ridiculous. Hard to think we have that level of talent on the roster this year. But I'll ask you this, though. From 10 to 12, did you know without a shout of a doubt those guys were MLB talent? I mean, that's fair. That's a very fair analysis. But, I mean, I didn't know Whit Merrifield was going to be, and by the way, shout out Whit. I didn't know Whit Merrifield was going to be the MLB hits leader. Did anybody know that? I mean, I don't think anybody saw that coming. Heck, I didn't know that Christian Walker was going to be an everyday guy for the D-backs. I didn't know, or we didn't know that. I mean, we had some, like for JBJ, for example, Jackie Bradley. I mean, you kind of figured, all right, this guy's a stud for sure. But I mean, it wasn't a given by any stretch. So I mean, Shullin says Gilmore is the best, most forgotten Gamecock player of those years. He opened the door for lots of really skilled guys to come here. Yeah, that's a good point. And I'll tell you what, guys, as much as because I enjoy reliving these memories and these highlights and stuff. God, I hope we get to a point soon where we have new highlights and new memories to talk about. You know what I mean? I don't want to be sitting here in 2031 still talking about, hey, remember 2011? Like, give me something else, please. We got a texter texting. Who do you think will lead the 21 football team in receiving yards this year? Receiving yards. Who leads the team? Is it a guy that's not on the roster yet? Is it Amarian Brown, the new transfer from Georgia Tech? That's tough. That's a tough one to answer, honestly. I mean, who is the number one wide receiver? Is it Jalen Brooks? I mean, heck, I don't know. Is it Xavier Legette? Does he step up? I don't know. I really don't know. So, Brandon Wagner, 2031. We're going to be talking about Gilmore Jr. and Shaw Jr. Yeah, I just hope obviously we all want to see more highlights. You know what I mean? We want to see other highlights. So I think it'll happen, but we're anxious, right? We're just all sitting here anxious. I want to see it from all three of the sports. I mean, I see RJ Kelly. We got new blood on the way up. Beamer in the building, building a great culture. I agree. I want to see it from all three sports. I want to see it from all the sports. You know what I mean? Like, we're due for a run as an athletics department. Are we not? We're due. Flat out just due. So, Emmett Graham says, could it finally be Josh Vann? The mystery that is Josh Vann, for sure. Your local sports thought Kevin Harris will rush for 1,000 yards again this year. I'm going to say no, because I think Marshawn Lloyd is going to be healthy. So I'm going to say no. I think he'll have another great year, but I don't know, man. It's again, what's scary to think about is that as good as Kevin Harris was, if Marshawn Lloyd is truly that dude that we heard about on the recruiting trail and if he's as good as advertised, Marshawn Lloyd will probably be the starter. And that's what's wild to me. So I don't know. We'll see. It is crazy to think about. Courtney Washington says, we don't need a number one. We need equal production across the board so we can be more potent. I think we got enough wide receivers to be very potent on offense. I hear what you're saying. I mean, you definitely want a bunch of guys you can depend on, but it's nice to have that true number one where it's like, all right, we need a big play. We're looking for this guy. But I hear what you're saying. I agree with you. But, their advantage is to having a number one wide receiver. So, again, guys, 843-790-3377. Great conversation today. A lot of baseball talk. I like it. A lot of baseball talk. I'm I'm literally giddy for the start of baseball season. I really am. Got some baseball clips coming out today. So got some great baseball clips coming today. So USC Gamecock fan, Step was a great hire. I think wide receiver will get turned around. Yeah, I like the hire of Step. And again, that's what we're going to see. How good of a coach is he really? It's just the progression of that room. So, because I think there is talent in that room. I mean, again, you cannot convince me that Rico Powers, Jakari Caldwell, and Mike Wyman, all those guys you signed, that none of them are good. I mean, I just, again, I think roster mismanagement, a lack of player development was two things we saw in the last regime. That's the biggest job for this new staff. I like Step. I think he will evolve those guys. So, John Gibbs put Lloyd. I can see Lloyd being put in the slot with motion while having Harris in the backfield to help with wide receivers. Yeah, I like that as well. Sasha BA 14, blah, blah, a bunch of numbers. I know damn well you smoke weed. Sasha, I really don't smoke weed. And if I did, I'll be honest with you. I'd tell you because I'm my own boss. I can do whatever I want. I could literally be blowing lines right now here on the live stream. I don't do that either, but I don't answer to a drug test. Do whatever I want. But it's ridiculous. But no, I do not smoke weed. Anybody was curious. Anybody was wondering. RJ Kelly, we're adding Georgia's 6A player of the year to another running back. We're stocked at running back for the near future. Yeah, that kid's good too. That kid's really good. And by the way, I don't judge you if you do smoke weed. I don't care. Like, whatever. It's all good. I mean, just a silly comment to make in this chat. So you give me a silly comment, I'm going to give you a silly answer back. Savannah Webster, where is Horn projecting to end up? I've seen first round rumors, but I've seen him in none of the mocks. I have no idea. I genuinely don't have a clue. Your local sports talk. Do you think Mike Bobo purposely ran Helinski out and then moved on to Auburn? Do I think he purposely ran him out? I don't think so. I know people like to say that. I don't think so. I don't. I don't think so. Courtney Washington, South Carolina, UNC 2023. Is that something that just got announced? Is that something just got announced or what? South Carolina, UNC 2023. Is that a thing? Do you know something I don't know? Eric Fry, I have not bought my ticket yet. I've not bought my ticket. I got you. Yeah, Savannah, obviously I got a little that's an extreme example, but again, you make silly comments on the stream, you're going to get some silly answers from time to time. Let's see. Corey Gardner, do you think Jalen Brooks can live up to what the previous staff had talked him up to be? I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, obviously the guy's got size, he's got speed. I don't know. So, I don't know. It's there. Can they develop him? That's the big thing. Can they develop him? So, okay, been playing for years. I thought you were saying like it just got announced. I was like, how did we miss that? Yeah, that'll be hopefully UNC is hopefully UNC is not quite where they are right now. Put it that way. Excuse me, guys. Whew. Hopefully not. Got about 5 minutes, guys. Again, taking your questions, comments, calls as well. 843-790-3377. Savannah Webster basketball schedule this week. Gamecocks play tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at CLA against Georgia, and then Saturday at 8:30 against Vandy. For those that don't know, by the way, that are in here, watch party this Saturday at Republic Beer Garden and Kitchen in the Vista at the old Flying Saucer spot. Great venue, pool tables, TVs, great bar, great food. Really, really nice spot. Good buddy of mine runs it, and really excited to get out there. And we tried to do this a few weeks ago, and COVID postponed the game, so we didn't get to do it. But really pumped to get back out there again. Republic Beer Garden and Kitchen in the Vista. Women's play Thursday and Sunday. Thursday at 7, Sunday at 3. So, Tyler Knoll, the number one mystery, where does Dak Joyner end up in this year's offense? He has to get the ball a lot more. I think he'll be a receiver, personally. We'll see, but I think he'll be a receiver. So, John Gibbs, as far as men's basketball, I would like to see more screens and shooting threes and just shooting, period. It looks like we don't even practice shooting. It's exciting to see movement and shooting, not just standing around playing 1v1 or backyard ball. Again, I don't know. They got to fix defensive issues. You know what I mean? They got to fix some defensive issues. So, RJ Kelly, do you think the D-line does better this year with Rocker gone? Got a lot of talent, just underperformed last season. I mean, I like Jimmy Lindsey. I like the new defensive line coach. Again, it's just all of a question, can they get the most out of the guys they have on the roster? Because there is talent there, like you said. Why a guy like Zach Pickens didn't blow up last year makes no sense. It's a question that cannot be answered. So, I don't know. Tyrell Campbell Sr., it's hard to believe that the previous staff could have been that bad at talent evaluation. It's a shame that they were that bad at player development. I mean, I agree with you. It is hard to believe. It's hard to fathom. It really is. Because here's the thing. That's the only conclusion you can draw about what happened, because you're getting talent in your building. So what's happening to it? And who does that fall on? You know what I mean? You got to place the blame somewhere. So that's why I'm so adamant about it. Just in the sense of like, it's got to be a player development or roster mismanagement issue, because you either think it's coaching or the players just aren't very good. And I think when you go look at the recruiting rankings, the players not being very good is not the case. I mean, you can't sit there and say every single guy is a bust, right? I mean, you just can't do it. So, your local sports talk, who's a player on the football team you want to see break out? Luke Doty. Luke Doty. Marshawn Lloyd too, but yeah, Luke Doty for sure. So, Savannah Webster, Birch, monster year. I think Birch will have a big year, yes. I think Birch will have a very big year. Yep. That should be, in my opinion, one of the major priorities of this Gamecocks defensive staff and really coaching staff as a whole. Get the absolute most out of Jordan Birch, because that dude obviously has a ton of talent. So, Tom McClellan, Pickens, and Birch need to be the dudes they were supposed to be. I said that going into last season. Yeah. I mean, because bottom line, dude, at South Carolina, listen, it's not all about stars, right? It's not all about stars. It's really not. A lot of the best players who ever played at Carolina were 3 stars. But when you do get 5-star players at South Carolina, you don't get enough of them to miss. So when you get 5-star players, they got to pan out. So to Tommy's point, like guys like Pickens and Birch, there's a little extra pressure for them, because it's like, dude, you're expected to be this guy. Where's it at? You know what I mean? You got to be the dude. So I totally agree. John gives baseball expectation this year is nothing less than super regionals. Reality expectation is natty, but maybe this year could be the start. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think this could be a super regional team for sure. Assuming you stay healthy and you feel good about your pitching staff and you feel good about your line. I mean, the talent's there. I mean, you're a top 20 team for a reason. The talent is there. So, yeah, I think certainly, that should be the expectation. I'm hesitant to say that if you have a good year and you go to the regionals and host and don't get out of it, is it a total failure? I don't know. But certainly, that's the expectation for County Baseball. Omaha's the standard. That's one of the reasons I love it so much. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Savannah Webster, last question. When is Sam McCall announcing the 5-star? I have no idea. No clue when he'll announce. But hopefully he picks Carolina. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Great stuff. Check out the podcast today if you have not. Episode 367, breaking down the Gamecocks' first baseman heading into 2020 baseball season, guys. And, of course, podcast Daily Crow all week long. Hey, live stream today, Road to Glory, 5:30 today. Road to Glory, 5:30 today for those that want to tune in, continue to play with Luke Doty. Guys, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it. Y'all take care.